Got video recording. All right, we're ready. Here we go. I'm going to count it down, play the intro, and off we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1.
Television highlights of the
damn
news of
It's
yesterday.
the wrong one. Hold on. Okay, now I got it. In 3, 2, 1.
I have
Current Geek!
Current Geek.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Current Geek. This is Current Geek, the coming together and the weekling proceedings of the meetings of the FROGPANTS All-Stars, Geeks of the World, and you, to keep you current on all things that matter most. I'm Scott Johnson, and the man with the gavel is Mr. Tom Merritt. Hi, Tom.
barely lift that gavel. I'm such a weakling.
Well, we got to have a place to let our voice be heard, and it may as well be this show.
That's right. We need a voice too, us weaklings.
A big congratulations is in order to Mr. Tom Merritt for reaching a fantastic goal for his Daily Tech News show. I'm sure you're sick of hearing congratulations about this, but I think it's fantastic that you
Thank you very much. I'm sick of things. Thank you.
Yeah.
At this point, after saying it 3,400 times.
Yes.
Yesterday.
But, man, it's just amazing, isn't it? It's great.
No, it blows me away.
Yeah. Well,
I can't say thank you enough, but I tried.
yeah, he tried, and I've never heard anybody commit so hard to saying thank you in my life. So that led me to a thing I wanted to tell everybody. If you're a fan of Current Geek, you know that we on this show have chosen to have like little things pop up in the store that you can buy and support the show that way. It's another experiment in this grand experiment online. And coming up soon, Pilsner glasses with a unique design just for the show. So if you like a good Pilsner,
Right.
I guess.
You can use, this is the hacker ethos talking. You can use the Pilsner glasses for lager,
Yeah.
or stout,
Yeah.
or tea.
Can I
Grapefruit
use it for
juice.
cider?
Yes. Can you use it for goat urine, Tom?
You can use it for goat urine.
Good.
I wouldn't recommend drinking it.
No. I just need a receptacle for all
Just
my
need to
goat
store
urine.
it.
Yeah.
It's great for that.
Keep it in the closet.
Mhm.
Speaking of,
Or pregnant dog,
Yeah.
dog and breast milk.
yes,
You know,
that too.
pregnant dog.
Pregnant dog breast milk is you got to have a place to put it.
That's exactly.
Ladies and
Needs to go
gentlemen,
somewhere.
join us now in welcoming our guests with us today. We have the returning Mr. Coverville himself, Mr. Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
We never do any shows
We
together.
just don't get much of a chance to talk, do we?
This is so rare. We should be writing this down. We never get to know it.
You know, and it's
This
funny.
is
I was
like
going
the
to say
evening. Oh wait,
Oh,
no,
wait,
you
we
do that.
already did that, yeah.
I was just going to say, you know, up until a few weeks ago, I would have been able to say, you know, we don't get to talk at night very often. Usually, it's first thing in the morning.
That's true.
But no, as of 3 weeks ago,
Yep.
we talk at night too.
That's right. Speaking of successful Patreons, thank you everybody helping us out on that. Also with us, Mr. Barry Ricks. You know him. If you listen to the network, you've heard him on The Final Score with his Sweet Kicks with Bricks series of coverages of Kickstarter games and the people who make them. It's fantastic stuff. Thanks for being with us, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's kind of funny. I was listening to TMS yesterday, and when Brian announced, I'm going to be on Current Geek, and then he said, and Barry Ricks, and it just sounded weird to hear my name being on Current Geek. And then I imagine everyone else listening to it's like, who the crap is Barry
Who the
Ricks?
hell is this Barry Ricks?
So no, it's awesome. I'm super stoked to be here, and let's have some fun.
Well, thanks, man. We will. And we're going to start it with the top stuff.
Herbert Hoover, Secretary of Commerce in 1922, finds infant radio facilitates news gathering, as do many others in high public office.
Tom, it's your turn.
Hey, subreddit exists. In case people haven't noticed it, just off the top, I want to mention that currentgeek.reddit.com. Thanks to Scotty Rowland for putting it together. Kyle is in there helping janitize it, and Tom Gerke made some graphics for it. And Cortinian posted this story to it. He tipped us off to Valve releasing a documentary called Free to Play. It's an hour and 15-minute film. Premiered in San Francisco March 19th, following 3 professional gamers from around the world as they compete for $1 million prize in the first Dota 2 international tournament. You can check out the entire thing on YouTube, or you can get it on Steam itself or on iTunes.
Yeah, I got it on Steam, and I only played enough of it to make sure it worked, but I plan on watching it this weekend, and I've heard really good things about it.
It's no race to world first.
It's not, right? Because that
Because it
had this
doesn't have you
incredible
in
narration cast in there that just knocked it out of the park. If there were awards, no, it wasn't that good.
You know, this sounds a lot like a documentary that I'm going to be in at some point here pretty soon called Learn to Play.
Yeah. You probably
I think
need
it's
that.
actually going to be called Learn
It's
to Play
called
Noob, but
Noob,
short
Newbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newbie.
Yeah.
Newbie, the film, the movie.
It's
Newbie
noob
the
in
fifth.
parentheses.
But
So
there- I wanna-
I'd be on that film too, Brian. So.
I want to ask the question, though, why we are increasingly okay when a company like Valve releases a big documentary film about a game they created, host, and make money from. We're increasingly okay with that kind of, like we'd have a problem with this if it was, say, the Barack Obama documentary, biography film, produced by the federal government. Like, we would have a problem with that, wouldn't we?
Well, that brings up a whole other bunch of things involving politics and parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I know what you're getting at, Scott. Like, there's some metaphor of like maybe a company, like a big company like Coca-Cola, on the history of the soft drink,
right?
Or
Apple with a Steve Jobs biopic.
There you go. Yeah.
If that happened, people would be up in arms, freaking out about how biased it would be and all this other stuff. But we don't seem to have this level of criticism for Valve. Maybe somebody does, and I haven't heard it, but it seems like an awful lot of excitement and very little criticism. And I'm not even saying let's kick up dirt where there is none. I just think it's interesting.
But you gotta imagine that there's not going to be anything negative showcased in this film, like the seedy underbelly of the Dota 2 International Tournament.
The several hours of not showering and playing. Just looking at the screen.
All the goat urine they have to imbibe.
Right. Goat urine's a new character they're releasing later this year for Dota 2, available now on Steam.
It's gonna be in that third lane.
But it's
I expect people on that video just to look at the camera and be like, "Told you, Mom, I could make money playing video games." So forget you.
I am sure there's a lot of that. I'm sure there's a lot of sort of look what gamers can do, look what we can accomplish. And again, from what I hear, it's really well done. I just kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been any kind of fallout. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
You know what it could be similar to that makes more sense is NFL films. Right? So this is esports. This is Dota 2.
Yeah.
And they're doing a documentary. And the NFL makes documentaries about football players and stuff. And nobody thinks that's, like, oh, that's conflict of interest. They're not telling you the real story about football, which they're not.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, well, but that's not the point. The point of an NFL film is to show you the glory of the game. And we know that it's going to be whitewashed. And that's okay because we get to see some cool things that we wouldn't get to see otherwise.
I think it's the game part and the sports part. And I think you nailed it. I think this is it. And this is okay because the same reason an NFL film is okay. I mean, the NFL benefits directly from having a very positive image, having this film of these heroic men on Lambeau Field in the middle of a snowstorm winning a game and documenting all this.
The autumn wind is a rage.
They benefit. They get ticket sales. They get notoriety. They get people watching the Super Bowl. I mean, all of those things come back to them in a beneficial way. I guess they're doing the same thing because esports is trying to blaze that same trail, to have that same kind of following. And why wouldn't the league, in this case Valve, want to sort of prop that up? And we all feel a more personal connection to the game maybe than we would the people who make our iPods. So I think you're right. And once again, your level of intense normalcy wins me over, Tom.
I don't know. Some people are pretty passionate about their iPods there, Scott. So you could have that too.
Well, let's hope they never do it.
That's right.
How about, let's see if you guys are okay with this. Mike P. Kennedy let us know on the subreddit about the rumor coming from therap.com that David Fincher says he will only direct the new Steve Jobs biopic. It's the one being written by Aaron Sorkin, based on the Walter Isaacson biography. He'll only direct it if Christian Bale plays Steve Jobs.
I'm kind of into this. Christian Bale as a face who kind of resembles Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Exactly. And only if he does it in that voice.
Right.
That's right.
Right. This is the new iPod. Check it out. We got a lot of going.
You deserve.
I got lots of apps.
If somebody walks in the room and goes, "Where's Wozniak?" then I'm in. I'm totally in. Here's the thing though. He's an intense actor and could do a fine job with that. Fincher is an intense director and could probably do a really good job with it. Or Sorkin writes amazing dialogue. I feel like there's too many good things in the favor of this idea, and that something's got to give. Something's going to fall apart. I don't know what it is, but these are three really important dudes in the areas they excel in. It seems like something should break.
This reboot is totally going to crush my memories of the Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs biopic.
Hopefully.
It all sounds good, but I mean, has Christian Bale even made a comment on this? Does he want to be in this movie?
He's actually taking time off from acting right now, so nobody knows what he thinks or whether he's
gonna
been approached.
Start his music career like Phoenix did.
Well, he could do he could do the whole. I mean, he could play. I think he could play the different eras, the kind of slightly '90s, a little bit chubby Steve Jobs. He could do the weight loss toward the end. He could do. Wow. I mean, he's got range in those ways. That kind of
range as a weight actor.
Well, as a guy who can become physically the thing he needs to be.
Yeah.
You know, I guess McConaughey can do that now. He's proven he can get all skinny when he needs to.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's the right. I honestly think it's a brilliant idea. I'm with Fincher on this. So
I'm with you, man.
I'm excited for the scene where he goes, "Oh, Windows 2000, good for you,
good for you,
good for you."
Yeah. Oh man.
LP Swaggerty pointed us to the next bit of Top Talk here. It's a fan-made video of Superman. If Superman were to strap on a GoPro to his head and then go flying about and fight criminals and fly through the air, and you get to see what it looks like.
What I liked about this video is it looks amateur at first. So the first impression is guy who does not look like Superman in a bad Superman outfit.
Right.
Finds somebody's GoPro and decides he's going to return it, so he puts it on to wear it. Now, I thought we immediately get some pretty neat aerials, right? Like, okay, well, that looks pretty cool, but it still looks pretty amateur. And they did it to me where they got me with the whole amateur thing. And as it went along, bigger things were happening. He saved somebody from a burning fire, catches the lady and takes her down. It all looks extremely real and as if a GoPro was really on a superhero's head. It's awesome. People should stop what they're doing, except listen to the show. When you're done listening to the show, go watch it.
Go check it out.
So good.
There's never been a video that makes me want to go out and buy a drone more than that one.
Right.
I watched the making of stuff that you get to see after the actual video, and just amazing. And this drone, the fact that it's able to go as high as you see it go in the video. It's able to go these long distances through bridges, etc. And they didn't explain how the GoPro picked up that woman and how convenient it was that she jumped off right as the drone was going by, but that was impressive.
I can't tell what they did. Like, did they green screen her in there? Like, it's
they must have.
They had to have, but it was so seamless that I didn't even really question it. And as they would do something more and more impressive, I go, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to be this good. It's a great piece of trickery where this found footage kind of quality to it. Not unlike that movie where they all had powers. What was that called? I always forget. Chronicle, like that. Like it kind of had a Chronicle vibe to it.
Mm-hmm. Right,
also,
the found footagey kind of, yes.
Yeah. And they captured the essence of Superman perhaps better than Man of Steel did.
Whoa.
And what I mean by that is that's his life. He's up there, he's returning a thing, he's saving a lady, you kind of not blew my mind, turned me around or anything, but you just opened up a whole new vista on what Superman should be for me there. Yeah, that's what he should be. He should be returning people's electronics.
Yeah. he should be an electronics return service.
Right.
That's right. You drop this, ma'am. Here you go.
Yeah, it's really.
It reminds me of my friend Brett Rounceville's comic, The Adjuster.
Oh yeah,
he's a superhero who also does insurance stuff.
Nice, good plug too. That's actually a good comic.
Really good comic.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that Incredibles as well? He does insurance.
He did anyway.
That's right.
Yeah.
Incredibles 2.
All right, Tom. I'm about to hit a bunch of buttons, and I think it's the Konami code, but you're telling me.
Yeah. Well, click the microphone button on Google search. Say up, up, down, down, left, right, and Google will respond to you. Cheat mode unlocked. Unlimited free Google searches, and then also give you search results for the Konami code.
Now, can I try this? I'm going to try it on the air.
I feel gypped when they do that. It's like, I already get that for free.
Yeah, exactly.
It was already unlocked.
I'm going to try this.
This pose problems for Google in the future if they do start deciding to charge for searches.
Dude. Yeah, they were going to establish the norm now and screw themselves. Right. I'm going to record this and see if this works. So here we go. All right.
Okay.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Oh my gosh.
Cheat mode unlocked. Unlimited free Google searches.
You got it. You totally unlocked free searches.
Nice. That's great.
Sweet.
That's amazing. And then it gives you the Konami
Now
code.
let's look at the kill screen.
Yeah. I love when they do crap like this. They didn't have to make that. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
you guys.
Are you there? Oh, you're there.
You need to unlock every other syllable.
Oh man.
No, you're fine. Say it again.
You killed player 2.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, do you guys know what the the very first game was that the Konami code was used?
Contra, wasn't it?
Was it Contra or was it Castlevania?
Incorrect on both accounts.
Oh, I should know this. It's embarrassing.
Sir, the quiz is until later in this episode.
Well, I just figure I better stump you now when I embarrass myself later.
I will award points to whoever gets it.
Hold on. Konami code is associated. I give up. I don't know what it is.
It's Gradius.
Gradius? I hate that game.
Fondagosa got it in the chat room.
Well, what is it? Some people call it the Contra code, because according to this,
it was made popular with Contra.
You're right, because it was still used there. But you're right. I'm now looking it up. Gradius is the first one, so I always thought it was Contra as well.
Yeah, I always associated with Contra. I never realized it was before that.
Right.
Wasn't Gradius the Tempest
Contra to popular opinion? It's Gradius.
Ah, look at you. Gradius. I always said Gradius. So I don't know what you guys are talking about, but the Gradius was like side-scrolling shootery deal there, Brian.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what there was a Tempest knockoff that Konami did that you were looking down a tunnel basically, and
that was called Tempestuous. No, I don't know.
Tempestuous.
That's what they all did back then.
Tempest.
They were constantly ripping each other off back in the 80s. Anyway, well, good.
Hey, speaking of getting ripped off, Ed Joseph of Bristol, England, bought a PS3 from someone on the Gumtree website. It's kind of like a Craigslist sort of thing, or maybe a eBay-ish kind of thing. He paid £80, but he never got the PS3. And against Gumtree policy, he paid by direct bank transfer. So the police were like, nah, chances of catching this crook are pretty slim. So he did have a phone number, and he started texting the seller the complete works of Shakespeare.
Nice.
So wait, did he tell me he used a phone somehow? Copied and pasted it through his phone and didn't do it through some desktop app or something.
Oh, no, he apparently was doing it. Yeah, he was copying it off his phone. He found the complete works online and was like, oh, you just can select all? And then I put it in my text message app? That's awesome. So as of March 18th, the Bristol Post was reporting Ed had sent 22 plays, including Hamlet, Macbeth, and Othello, which had delivered 17,424 texts, because he just puts the whole thing in there, and then the text message app breaks it up. The seller has begun to text him and call him back with abuse. And Joseph said, I'm going to keep doing it. If nothing else, I'm sharing a little bit of culture with someone who probably doesn't have much experience with it.
Wow.
There you go.
forsooth, please stop thine texting.
Thou will reckon the day that thou messed with me.
Oh, man. That's bad. I'd be pissed. I wouldn't be happy about this. Not just because I don't like Shakespeare that much. No, Shakespeare's fine, but, it's a little annoying.
Wherefore art thou keeping my 80 pounds and not giving me a PS3?
That's right. Yeah, where's Superman returning this, huh?
That's right. Where's my PS3 Superman?
Yeah, right. Just call Superman Ed Joseph.
GoPro.
Don't be a troll. They'll get it for you.
Big jerk.
And finally, Disney and Lucasfilm confirmed that filming for Star Wars Episode 7 will start shooting at Pinewood Studios near London in May, and it will, quote, star a trio of new young leads along with some very familiar faces.
Also said to be 30 years after the occurrence or after the events of Return of the Jedi, which is exactly how long it's been since they finished filming that movie.
So if they needed Princess Leia to look 30 years old, they would just cast Carrie Fisher.
See? And they did. They cast all three of them. So they're all looking 30 years older because they literally are. I kind of like that approach.
Is it official that they've cast all three of them?
There is, I don't know how.
I know we know it, and I don't doubt it, but I don't think the studio has.
Yeah, I don't think it's been.
I don't think the studio has actually come out and
announced.
Right?
Yeah,
they didn't come out and go, look, Harrison Ford is currently working out and shaving some pounds to be in this thing. But what's his name did say, Mark Hamill said on Twitter that it was time to start working out or something like that.
No, Carrie Fisher has said it, and Harrison Ford has coyly avoided admitting it. I've seen him on the Graham Norton show, basically with admitting it with his eyes. So it's all true, but they haven't actually. I don't know why they haven't made that announcement. I wonder what they're waiting for.
Did he crack? Did he smile at all on the Graham Norton show? I'm just curious.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
All right. Because he didn't
kind of
do
amazing.
that much.
I know.
Non-smiler these days.
I imagine we'll be hearing a lot of casting news now, though. Now that they have the official date, and now that they're going to be start filming in just a couple months.
Yeah,
And so
they won't be able to keep it.
they're just going to start. People are either going to be sending pictures, from set or whatnot. So,
speaking of drones, that's there's going to be some people out there with drones like hovering over the sets and any outdoor filming locations.
Pinewood Studios, same place that they do this every time, isn't it? This is the Star Wars filming space.
No, not every time. I believe you're right that they've used it before, though.
It seems like that's where like the Yoda Dagobah stuff was, and some of that stuff, right?
Elstree Studios, where they did the original trilogy.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of then. Why do you think they got to go over there? Why do we got to give our Hollywood jobs over?
Studios was where they did Phantom Menace.
Got it. I hope they have some puppets
for sure.
If they have some puppets in this one, I'll be happy. That'd be great. Well, Ibbott, you and I were just talking. We were just talking
some
this.
very familiar faces like C-3POs,
right,
and Chewbacca's.
Chewbacca's.
Yeah.
Chewbacca's. That's multiple Chewbacca's.
That's right. Apostrophe Chewbacca's face.
We were talking on TMS today about how we hate the Yoda that jumps around and fights.
Wait a minute, we did a TMS today?
No, this is the other day.
It was a long day.
This is the other day. We were talking about how your wife specifically hates the jumping around Yoda.
She hates the jumping jack Yoda, and how he's either lying to everybody and just playing up the whole, oh, I'm weak and hobbled, oh, pity me, and then, oh yeah, all right, I'll just bust it out here, or
well, we have
held,
or it was just like a can of spinach or something.
Right.
He got sick after all the Jedi got killed. That's why he was weak and hobbled.
He still walked pretty slow, when he's in the Coruscant Jedi chamber, and
he's trying to get you to underestimate him. That's
right.
Okay.
Underestimate the little guy.
It's annoying. I agree with Tina, and I also think that we've come a long way since the prequels. I mean, don't forget, '99 was quite a ways ago, and the technology used there was, while impressive, we've come a long way since then. If they're going to do any kind of, we're not going to do puppets, but we're going to CGI this, I suspect things are going to look a lot better now. So
I don't hear a lot of people complaining about the prequels and the special effects and the technology. I hear a lot of people saying, the pod race scene is one of the best things about the Phantom Menace.
Who are you talking to?
That two-headed idiot that calls the race.
I will agree that the complaints about the digital effects from the Phantom Menace kind of waned over the years, and they got better in the other prequels. But the pod race, I hear lambasted as one of the worst things about that.
Really?
Yeah,
I think the actual race, like the actual stuff in it, the pods
the
are
visuals
cool.
Of the actual race, yeah,
they're cool. What's dumb is the kid driving. That's real dumb.
That's gotta hurt.
And the two-headed thing, the talking two-headed deal was the worst thing ever. Now, that all being said, Darth Maul was one of the greatest villains in the history of the movies. Even though I didn't like the prequels much, I think he was badass, and they should have kept him alive, and he should have been in all three.
I know. They should have just X'd out Count Dooku and just kept Darth Maul through all three movies.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be less flashy, though.
Yeah.
When I saw it's a new Darth, what's it gonna be like? And then he was like, I'm all crazy red and black, man. I didn't like
I'm all crazy red and black, man.
Crazy red and black.
Perfect.
Well, didn't J.J. Abrams say that he wanted to go a little bit more practical effects this time?
Yeah.
I believe I heard that too, right?
Yeah, and that's great. I'm all in for that.
That is great. I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, Super 8 was a good example of some of that practical effects being meshed well with digital ones, so why the hell not?
I just hope there's a really good romantic story.
Yeah,
I know,
you don't.
Because that's the most important part.
You really don't. You hope.
I just hope that there are some thinly veiled ethnic characters.
Some stereotypes.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. And maybe some incest that they have to write around.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Exactly.
That'd be
and
great.
then have Warwick Davis be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, I'm all for that.
Well, he's a requirement, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a requirement, but maybe they'll add some Peter Dinklage too.
Yeah. He's the new hotness for the short actors, right?
He's a Jedi. We'll just have straight up Peter Dinklage.
He'd be a good
Yoda's
Jedi.
unknown son.
That's a brilliant idea. Or maybe not. All right, it's the main event.
In case you missed a look at one of the best-dressed beauties of the early 20s, here's another look at her. Had enough?
Let's talk about GDC a little bit. Big goings on around GDC, although it's not normally known as an event where big gaming news is announced in terms of new releases or games that are being worked on coming out this fall. Sometimes that stuff will get snuck in, but really it's a chance for developers to talk to other developers about successes they've had, how they did it, techniques, technologies, that kind of stuff. But the big deal this year is PS4 owners are going to be real excited about Project Morpheus, which is also being referred to as the PS View in some leaked documents. Is their new virtual reality helmet. Looks a lot like an Oculus Rift. Well, actually, it doesn't look like it at all, but it's essentially specs-wise, essentially the latest. Sure. Full 360-degree tracking. It's got the whole integration of Move-like controllers, gives you supposedly more presence and sort of control in the game world. And the camera technology to sort of track where you're at is supposed to be superior to the current dev kits for Oculus, although the new dev kits look pretty sweet too. I'm not sure they're even in this to compete with Oculus so much as to bring VR to a more mainstream living room audience. And I think it's pretty damn exciting, generally, because we're finally getting this thing that for 20 years we were promised and never got. So I'm personally pretty stoked about it. Are you guys looking forward to this? Ibbott, how are you feeling about a PS4 with a VR helmet?
Well, Tom, I think Tom said it best on Wednesday's Geek segment of TMS, is that, great, I can buy this device that works with whatever game Sony decides it'll work with, or I can get an Oculus Rift and have a completely huge fan base of developers and indie game writers and anything I want to put on my PC to work with. There's pluses and minuses to that. I mean, there's obviously with the indie market and independent developers, you get everything, right? You get the bad and the good, whereas Sony's probably going to be very specific or very controlling about the quality of the games that get through and make it onto the PS View or the Morpheus or whatever we want to call it. So there's probably an advantage there. Plus, I play my PS3 or my PS4 about as much as I play PC games. So there's that decision too.
Right. I wonder if, this is, and Barry, I want to throw this to you in a second, but I'm less worried about the Sony control point of view this time because of other efforts they seem to be making to be a much more accessible platform. And part of this week's GDC was also them announcing brand new tools for indie developers to quickly and easily self-publish on the platform. That could mean, I'm not saying it will, but it very well could mean that even though this is a closed system and a dedicated platform, that developers will have a lot more freedom to build what they want and how they want to do it for that thing. It also means you're going to get great first-party stuff from Sony, potentially, and it means that they are going to encourage developers to aim high. But if they're going to open the gates and say, look, indies, you will also have as much opportunity as you want to make it a little $15 experience for the VR helmet, come on in, I think you'll get some pretty good support that way. So I hope that sense that I have is the right one. I don't know, though, because they have to kind of prove this, right? It's going to have to be something they show they can do. Barry, thoughts? Yeah. VR helmet, PS4, what do you think?
Well, we talked about it last night with Tom on our show, and I mean, for me being a poor college student and probably not making much money when I have a career, it just comes down to it's another $300+ device that I'm going to have to buy. Sure, virtual reality will be really cool. I remember doing it back in the day when it was a newish thing and it was fun. The controls weren't great, but it was still fun to have that viewing and that image right in front of you. But I think for a lot of people, it's going to come down to how much is it going to be? Is it really going to be worth the investment? But then you can think about it. Well, the PlayStation 4 is almost just half of the price what the PlayStation 3 was. Yeah,
pretty much.
And so maybe they could do a special package, be like, here's your PlayStation 4 with your Morpheus in a package for $600,
sure,
or something like that. So doing a package deal, I could see being a little bit more willing to do it like that. But just buying it by itself. But then also, I'm probably going to be the person that waits for a while just to see what type of games are out there, see what the functionality of it, and see if it's really investing.
And most people will do that. So I think you represent what most people are going to do, and so they really have to nail it. They have to show that there are compelling experiences that you can't get anywhere else, or at the very least, they're compelling experiences you might be able to get on the Oculus, but because they're dedicated platform or they're giving tools to developers to do whatever, that there's some advantage to that. If the rumors are true that we're looking at $300, Tom, and they're going to be packed, you're going to have the helmet, a wand controller, and the camera all in that bundle, that seems like a hell of a price.
Look, they may have an idea how much they're going to charge for this thing, but they've already told The Verge it's not coming out in 2014, so that is going to change. It's way too far in advance for them to know exactly how much they're going to sell this for. They probably didn't know the price of the PS4 until hours before the announcement, by all accounts, right? So I wouldn't get too hung up on that, but I would think that what Sony's doing right now is taking into account the opinions of people like Barry and Brian right now, saying, okay, we need to make this compelling. We need to make good games. We need to make it worth it for somebody like Brian to lock it down to the PS4 and want to use it on that when he's got the Oculus Rift out there, because we know that's going to be our competition, at least right out of the gate. And so what they did is they went to the Game Developers Conference, right? And they said, hey, devs, check this out. This is what we're working on. We're going to bring you an SDK soon. And we want you to start thinking about it and coming up with really cool stuff. Because remember, Sony is considered in the console world to be the more open platform, the more developer-friendly platform. So they want to keep that. They want to keep that momentum, keep that spirit, and say, hey, we're going to have this cool thing for you. Come up with ideas. They desperately want that because they want to be able then to come in 2015 to Barry and Brian and go, hey, check this out. This is what we're doing. Can't do this with the Oculus Rift because we got these amazing developers helping us out here.
Sure. And they
I just want them to come to me and just give it to me. Just
Yeah, of
like,
course
"Here,
you do.
Barry,
Yeah.
there you go.
Here, nice guy in Idaho, have this.
That's right. You guys that have your Oculus Rifts and your new gen systems, you guys, you're playing the cool new games, and I'm still up here in podunk Idaho and at college being like, I wish I could play some games.
Still got the Super Nintendo all hooked up, and
oh man,
Virtual Boy.
it's a hell of a console though. That's not too bad.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
great
really fascinating to watch, and Sony's hunger for this kind of openness is such a new thing for them. So what Tom said is true, but it's still a new thing for them, and they haven't completely proven themselves in that regard. I am very optimistic about the chances for this to be something cool because I feel like they are really in it to win it right now. This isn't them trying to overly control things. And keep in mind, they've got this streaming technology they use for the Vita game stuff. What's that called? Not AirPlay. It's like AirPlay, though, for your Vita and the PS4. I use it all the time.
Oh, the remote share or whatever it's called.
What's it called? Remote Play? Remote Play. That's
Remote
it.
Play.
And it's essentially the stuff that Nintendo uses on the Wii U. But that's already sort of built in. So this headset's not going to have a bunch of wires hanging everywhere. You're going to be able to move around in space without getting tangled up or yanking a console off a shelf. Like there's some advantages to some of the tech they're already messing with, and they can kind of cover it on all the ends already. They've already sort of got stuff in place. So I'm very excited to see.
And the market has shown that having one company with some sort of innovative technology is okay. Having two companies competing with innovative technology is fantastic for the
it's
consumer.
even better. Having the competition there. But I'm just like Scott. I'm just excited to see what happens because it's the new paving new ways for new video game experiences. And for all of us that enjoy video games, we're looking for that extra little thing. And this could be that little thing that pushes us to the next level.
Now, before we move on, Tom, I'm going to throw a question at you that asks this question. Is it in Microsoft's best interest if they think, let's just assume that the market is ripe and ready for VR tech and we're ready to go, Oculus, Sony, everybody's stoked. Microsoft's a little behind the eight ball on this one. At least let's assume that they don't have their own R&D head thing working right now. Do they approach Oculus Rift, inject them full of money, even maybe take a complete ownership role and buy them out outright? And does the Oculus become Microsoft's play in this, or do they do their own thing?
They're doing their own thing by all accounts. Now, that's not official, but Microsoft is reportedly developing an Xbox VR headset. So my guess is that the answer is no, they're not going to go to Oculus. Microsoft is said to be working on a VR headset codenamed Fortaleza. I had to look that up, which means fortress in Portuguese. If you pronounce it properly in Portuguese, I'm sure that's actually what it means.
What you said, dirty urinal is what you said.
Yeah,
that's right. Or goat urine
goat urine. So to keep the theme alive, yeah.
Also known as a Pilsner glass. So yeah, pretty scant information, but Fortaleza, Project Morpheus, Oculus Rift, 2015 is going to be the year that all of these things hit. and we will see some competition. What would be interesting to me is less Microsoft going injecting money into Oculus, which could be interesting. I wouldn't rule it out entirely, right? They may come at some point and go, you know, it would be great to help the Fortaleza project if we owned Oculus.
Yeah.
I doubt that's going to happen, though. What I think would be more likely to happen is Microsoft comes out with a headset that works with the Xbox and the PC. And maybe even Crazy Talk works with other OS platforms possibly. But you know, if they can say like, hey, buy Sony's and you're stuck with the console, buy the Oculus, you're stuck with the PC, buy ours and you get both console and PC. Works all over the place.
Yeah.
And controlled with your Windows phone.
This would go against type for them because they've been terrible at showing support for, say, Kinect on PC. There's one there, but it costs you double the money, and there's not much going on with it. It's super locked down. Same thing goes with, I don't know, games in general. They focus all their efforts on Xbox One, and they kind of peter out on PC, which is weird because it's their platform. They would need to have
someone entirely different in charge of the company with a new vision to make this happen.
Wait, then what you're saying is, yeah.
What?
We got a new guy. Let's see how it goes. All right, Tom.
Yeah, whether he has a whole new vision or not is a whole different question.
That's a big question. I want to know what you think about 2048 and what the hell is it and what's going on because the whole internet won't stop talking about it today.
Curse you, Tom.
2048 came out, I think, March 9th. It's been around for a couple of weeks. I found out about it through XKCD because XKCD.com did a comic about it. And I was like, how did I not know about this thing? And immediately got sucked in. But it is math game based on 1024 by Vivo Studio, and conceptually most people are going to look at it and go, oh, it's like Threes but with twos. Threes is a similar game on iOS and Android by Asher Vollmer. A lot of people say, well, I prefer Threes, it's a better game for this and that reason, it's got cool sound effects, better design, etc., etc. The cool thing about 2048 is that you're not only moving numbered tiles around and trying to merge them and trying to win, but it works anywhere. It's open source, available on GitHub. You can play it on your phone, in a browser, and you don't even have to have an internet connection if you've got it saved to your home screen. You can play it on a desktop, on the web, anywhere. People are coming up with crazy variations because it is open source. There's a like hex version that's on like a diamond. There's a color version where instead of numbers, you're merging like the colors of the spectrum, and they get farther down the rainbow as you merge them. It's totally addictive.
I'd sure like it on tablet, though. That'd be nice.
You can have it on tablet then.
They do?
Go to the web. It's on the web. It's the
HTML5 thing. Okay.
Yeah,
but
and
I want an app.
Pin it to the home. Pin it to the home screen.
An app.
Pin it to the home screen, and it's an app. Like this is actually one of the
apps.
I only want to pay microtransactions
for HTML5 ever.
Yeah, I want to pay 50 cents for extra gems.
You could probably send them 50 cents. I don't know.
If I buy $2.99 in coins, can I have it as an app?
Yes. Send Gabriel Cerulli in Northern Italy 50 cents, and you'll feel better.
There you go.
Oh, fine. Well, okay. It seems I played around with it a little bit, and I just kept going, ooh, put this on an app. But now you tell me it'll play there. Maybe I'll give it another shot.
Yeah, just go to the web. It's hard. People, we're not used to that, right? For the past few years, we've been trained to live in the walled garden again. Like we're on our Commodore 64s and TI 99s, and now suddenly somebody came out and said, no, you can just use DOS.
If it's good, then yes.
That's right.
There's been some poop.
Web apps, because before we got the flexibility of the App Store, actually when the iPhone first came out, all we could do were web apps, right?
Yeah.
If we wanted something different than clock and
JavaScript was all we could do.
And those were janky, and I think those probably soured people initially towards web apps.
Well, even then,
web apps a bad name.
Yeah, and even then, though, when HTML5 came of age and everybody started going crazy with it and talking about it, it was a lot of high talk, but the results were nowhere near the kind of fidelity people were getting in games when they were developed natively for devices. And
it's almost as if the internet overreacted to a technology early before it had actually matured into something useful. Bluetooth.
What? You make a good point.
Never happens.
You make a good point. Oh, Bluetooth's a great example. So is USB, by the way. There are a few like that.
Editing stories in 2000 about how Bluetooth was a failure and would never catch on.
Yeah.
Because no one has found a use for it. And now it's everywhere.
Yeah, you can't walk 5 feet without finding a Bluetooth signal giving you testicle cancer.
there's trolls on the internet? What?
What?
I know.
What's this world coming to?
That's so bizarre.
It is. It's totally bizarre.
Well, I want people to check it out, and now I want you to check
playing it
out
right now.
this.
America scores and wins.
Oh,
Thank you, America.
It's time for the pop quiz, everybody.
I better stop playing 2048.
Yeah, pull out
That's
your
right.
gavel there, Tom. It's not a euphemism. The actual gavel is what I'm looking for. We are going to play a little pop quiz. It's where you guys answer trivia questions. Brian's done this before, but we've got a new set of questions for him.
What?
Yep.
What?
Oh, yeah. You
Spice Girls.
You went and memorized the old one, but
Brian just wrote down all his
I
answers.
have,
from the last
I have
episode.
them all right here.
the only rules are this. Tom Merritt scores it weird, so be prepared for that.
Not weird.
It's a little weird.
Complex rules.
Complex and weird. And
6 years of study to master.
you're gonna have lots of chances to answer, but you want to answer it quickly. Too much time means you're gonna lose points. So we're gonna start with Barry. Barry Ricks, are you ready for your questions?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Your questions are, by the way, Brandon Sanderson related,
Okay.
because I know you're a huge fan of the author. And
I
his
am a
work.
huge Brandon Sanderson fan. Yeah.
He is literally 20 minutes from me right now doing something.
I know. And yeah, if you listen to my show, I have a little snippet of him at the beginning of my show.
Oh, you did?
saying-
Really?
Yeah, saying listen to the Closet Geek.
Barry is nothing but he's an amazing get a thing from a dude. I've noticed that about you.
And it's true. If I can't do it, I make sure someone else can.
Yeah, it's
or-
impressive. It's impressive. All right, here you go. First question. What year was Brandon Sanderson born?
Oh, jeez. I don't know about his person. 1976.
Oh, so close. 1975 is the correct answer.
Oh,
He's a
come
little
on.
little older. All right, what was the title of the first book in the Mistborn series?
The Final Empire.
You are correct. Nice job. What is the capital city of the Final Empire?
Kedrick Shaw is the palace, anyway.
Ooh.
Or
Luthadel is the
Luthadel. Oh, the palaces.
the palaces. The palaces. Tom,
I'm
anything
gonna
weird?
lose a point for that one.
Crap.
All right, excellent. Next up is what character forced into slavery escaped from the pits of Hathsin?
Kelsier.
You are correct.
Correct. Point.
I wanted to name my son that, actually. We were so very close to name him Kelsier.
Oh, wow, that's great.
That would have gotten you an extra point. Just so
I know,
you
man.
had.
Instead-
That's
Nope.
okay. You don't lose anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for not messing your kid up for his whole life trying to spell
know,
it in
right?
class.
You're
Yeah.
like,
How do you spell that? Let's see. What character for? I did that one. What year was the first book in the Mistborn series published?
2006.
You are correct. Nice
Get
job.
2006 points for that one, oddly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hey Brian, you're fine. Everything's
I'm
fine.
done. I'm gonna go lie down.
What is the name of the religion established by the Lord Ruler?
Oh, crap. Poop forget you.
Poop forget you. Is that your answer?
Yeah.
The Steel Ministry. The Steel Ministry.
Actually, you lose 2005 points for that one.
Wow.
Weird.
The
I
gavel
knew.
giveth and the gavel taketh away.
That's right.
Take it away.
I knew he'd get that money back. Okay.
I know.
Next one. In 2012, a video game based on Mistborn was announced. What is the name of this still in development game?
Birthright.
Yep, you are correct. I
2
can't
points for
find the
no pause.
dinger there. I couldn't find it. How many years after the original Mistborn series does Mistborn: The Alloy of Law take place?
300 years.
Oh, goodness. He's
Another
nailing
2
these.
for no pause.
Yeah, that's really good. What is the name of the divine power used by the Lord Ruler to remake the world?
I know. I got
The
it.
Well of Ascension.
You
Oh,
actually
well,
lose 3 points for that.
I know. Well, crap.
You see, it's you're good. It's good that you didn't explain yourself because Tom's been known to take points away for that.
That's why I didn't say it.
All right, good. How would one describe a twin-born?
Someone that has one ability of allomancy and one ability of ferochemy.
Good Lord, that's impressive.
That's a 2-pointer. Although you could have gotten 1 point for literally describing the birth of twins.
There you go.
It's good to know for future stuff. All right, congratulations. Hang on to those points, Tom, because we got one more guy. Then we'll give you guys your scores. Good job, Barry.
Yeah. Woo.
Brian Ibbett, you're going to answer questions about David Bowie and movies.
Okay.
David Bowie and movies.
It's about a babe.
Yeah, could be.
Babe.
So here
Babe
you
with
go.
the power.
Question
What
number
power?
1. What?
Power voodoo.
Voodoo?
Hoodoo.
Voodoo.
Point for both of you. And you, Scott.
And me, thank you. All right. Who does David Bowie play in The Prestige?
In The Prestige. Oh, he Tesla.
Very
Nikola
nice job.
Tesla.
Nikola Tesla is correct.
Oh, you almost lost a point for not saying Nikola, but then you recovered before you gave Good, so 1 point.
Do I remember? I think
That's because I could have been confusing it with the heavy metal band from the
Right, I didn't know.
he had a wicked mustache in that, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
in the song Let's Dance, what color of shoes does David Bowie say to put on?
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
Very well done. Red shoes is
That was
correct.
my-
I mean, for
that was the
difficulty-
Audrey Hepburn version, I think.
Let's dance.
For difficulty, you only get 0.1, but for the Audrey Hepburn, you actually get 0.5, so it ends up being 0.6.
All right, point six.
Thank you.
Nicely done. In what year was the album Let's Dance released?
Let's see. That would have been 1984.
1983.
Oh,
Man, we were both so close on those
Yes.
year
The
ones,
year
Brian.
ones, yeah.
totally.
It was Mike, by the way, Iceworm, who constructs these questions, has it on vinyl, of all things.
I believe he does.
What David Bowie song was used in the movie and soundtrack to Inglourious Bastards?
Ooh. I don't know, but let's say Young Americans.
You are incorrect. It was Cat People Putting Out Fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which Beatle appeared twice on Bowie's Young Americans record?
John Lennon.
Oh, very nice. Nicely
No
done.
pause, extra point.
Yeah, that no pause is a big one. What
Wow.
was the first David Bowie song to be featured on the original Rock Band game in 2007?
I had that. What was it? It was something. Oh, Space Oddity.
Sulfagetti City. How do you say that?
Suffragette City.
Spaghetti.
So Brian loses a half point for that, but Scott loses his earlier point.
All right, fine. I deserve that. Who does David Bowie play in the movie Labyrinth?
There we go. He plays Jared,
Oh,
the Goblin King.
Oh, Jareth, the Goblin
Jareth.
King.
Jareth, the
Oh,
goblin.
you lose a point for mispronouncing Jareth. Come
I
on.
should, yes.
With his giant cod piece.
Yeah,
That's right.
had its own credit, I think.
That's right, it did.
What David Bowie song was featured in the movie and soundtrack The Wedding Singer?
Trying to think here. I've got that with the.
The hint is it's very much of our era,
Yeah. Is it
as most of that movie was.
China Girl?
You are correct.
Ooh.
Nicely done.
You would have gotten a point either way for not kind of not knowing that is worth something.
Yeah, it's worth
Hey,
something.
that soundtrack does have a great cover of Video Killed the Radio Star by Presidents of the USA.
Oh,
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
I
a
had
good one.
that. We actually own the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's
And
really
actually, The Wedding
I just
Singer
lost it.
musical is a really good musical. I saw that on Broadway.
good. Oh, no way.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. It's
Yeah,
weird
I
that
saw
that made it
the-
to Broadway.
Yeah, with the original cast with comedian Stephen Lynch. He was pretty cool.
Sandler doesn't have enough money.
By the way, Gord McLeod pointed out that Jared is the Subway King.
Oh, the Subway
awesome.
King.
Well
That's
done.
right.
Nicely said. All right, next question. In the song Space Oddity, what kind of pills is Tom instructed to take?
Take your protein pills.
Goodness gracious. Got that
I'm a lyrics
correct.
guy. I love lyrics, so you're not
All
gonna
right.
get any of those.
How about this one? Final question. In what movie does David Bowie play a character named Thomas Jerome Newton?
Thomas Jerome Newton.
Those are my favorite Pillsbury. The Thomas Jerome Newtons.
Boy, I can't remember. Was it that serious one he did in the 80s?
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Yes. Razor's Edge? No, that
I'm
was
gonna
the Bill Murray
say-
serious.
Nope, it was the man who fell to earth.
Man who fell to
Lost a
earth.
point on that one. Come on, Bill Murray, Razor's Edge.
Yes, I know.
All right, you guys both did well, I believe, from what I heard. But Tom is the final judge on all this. Tom, how'd they do?
Well, Brian came in with a very respectable 4.1, but he couldn't match Barry Rick's 5.
Oh, wow.
Well done, Barry.
Yeah.
Yes!
You both deserve accolades for your fine work. And that
I'm sorry. You didn't win the first time either, did you, Brian?
I didn't know.
no, this is
Oh.
second loss. I got to come back.
Second
Close.
loss. Yes.
Got to come back.
Oh man, we need to have him come on a third time.
Dude,
Imagine if he'd
himself.
gotten 2006 points.
I know. See?
I know. I shouldn't have missed that one where I
Rubby.
lost them all.
if I have my way, he'll be here plenty of times to defend his honor. But thank you for playing, everybody. Love a good game show. that means time for this.
The future promises even more startling things to come.
Time for a little game called Forecast. It used to be a show, now it's a segment. And it's where we get to make a prediction, pass it around a little bit. We're going this time with Brian Ibbott's prediction. Why don't you explain this? Explain what the giant maker bots will do to us one day.
Sure. The giant maker bots will rule the earth.
Yeah.
No, all right. So you've heard of Trex, right? It's a alternative to wood that they use a lot for decking, and they basically make 2x4s out of this in whatever color you want, and it's stronger than wood, doesn't require any maintenance.
It's kind of like resin-ish kind of material,
exactly.
right?
And it's made, that's pretty much it. It's made with a lot of the same stuff. It's plastic, but it also incorporates sawdust, recycled bags, recycled plastic, milk bottles, things like that.
So does it have little circles on top that you can connect it with the other 2x4s and just stack them up?
That would be an awesome thing. That's the next prediction for my third show.
All right. We'll have you back for that.
So I imagine that they produce this stuff by, pooping it out of a hose and cutting it to the size that you need it. Mm-hmm. And it got me thinking, could they make a giant maker bot, basically having the scaffolding that just basically directs the point of this hose into whatever place they need to do framing. You actually couldn't build a house with this, but you could actually do framing for a house and have it actually generate all the frames for the various rooms and walls and stuff like that.
Why not? I mean, it sounds like just a big maker bot. I mean, really what you're describing is just a scale issue then, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's the same.
Right.
I mean, the computer would still be the thing that would say, all right, well, here's our 3D model. Now here's your 2 acres of space.
Right.
Build
and
it.
you build, and basically you build the scaffolding first. So like you put up these big scaffolds. I've got the whole plan visualized where you put up these scaffolds that support the MakerBot, and then you just go boop, and with a big truck filled with this goop, and it just poops it out into a house frame.
So how did that go again, Brian? Just
boop,
boop, boop, boop. All right, just making sure. Just making sure
Barry,
that would be the noise.
Barry, do you embrace a future where robots are building the frames for things, or small objects, or cars, or sheds, or whatever you need?
I am totally comfortable with robots building my stuff. So,
not a problem.
And I mean buildings, not other stuff. So,
right.
But no, it's where we're already headed. I mean, there's already things where robots are building our cars and building our computers and other things that it's a system. Of course, people are worried about, oh no, that the robots are going to take my jobs away. But hey, those robots need someone to fix them when they break down. So just change your future goals and be a technician rather than a line worker in the factory, so to speak.
It sounds like a Douglas Adams character, though, doesn't it? Like I repair the robots that build houses.
Yeah. It does, doesn't it?
That's right. It reminds me of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the new one. And the dad got fired from putting the toothpaste caps on the toothpaste, but then he got rehired to fix that machine that did it for him. So there you go.
That seems like a reasonable way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I already predicted the future for that.
Did you know that a house is being 3D printed in the Netherlands right now?
What?
No way. Really?
What? Are you serious?
I swear to God, I did not know that.
I believe that.
6-meter tall printer called the Kamermaker, which I assume means something in Dutch. It does. It means
I've never had one of
build.
my predictions come true so quickly.
It's a room builder. It's a scaled-up version of an open-source 3D printer made by Ultimaker, and it takes the Kamermaker about a week to print each massive, unique honeycomb-structured block, layer by layer. The first block, which forms one corner of the house and part of a stairway, weighed around 180 kilograms. They're using cement.
Oh, wow.
Wow, look at these pictures. This is amazing. Look at that.
Is there a link in the
No, I'll stick it in there now though. I'll put it in Skype. But I wouldn't have guessed they were already trying this. This seemed like a scale problem. I mean, I know eventually we always overcome these things, but to me it seems like scaling up like that is just kind of crazy talk to me.
Also, the University of Southern California professor Barak Koshnevis has built a 3D printer that can build a house in 24 hours.
Oh, geez.
Koshnevi's robot comes equipped with a nozzle that spews out concrete and can build a home based on a set computer pattern.
Barak is my name just in that country over there.
The country of Southern California?
The country of Southern California.
It's totally its own country over there.
Sure.
California
totally
Republic.
Take out Liu Kang.
That's all right on the fly.
Liu Kang. Yeah, they all sound like Mortal Kombat characters. This is pretty neat, though.
It's funny because when Brian said that prediction, I thought, I feel like I read about a project aiming to do this someday. And I was going to bring that up and go, well, Brian, people are already working on this, so you may be right. And then I find 2 people are doing it.
Are actually doing it. So you're saying that before you come on Current Geek and make a prediction, Google that prediction.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Come
things are
on,
moving
Brian.
fast these days.
If anything, I'm glad you didn't, because it gave us this opportunity to be surprised at how quickly some of this stuff is
What's
moving.
going on?
Yeah. I had no idea. I would have thought this was fake.
Giant maker bots framing a house using Trex is not happening.
Right.
That's true.
That can still be your prediction, is that this will get much better.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
And you can do wood houses and stuff like that. I think the Trex thing is actually really an interesting take on that.
Well, now that these maker bots are making sugar sculptures and they're using materials like glass, so they're doing ceramic stuff now and metal. There's no way that this, that we can't. You can start to see what's going to happen, because if those materials become possible, then they become possible at bigger scales, different scales, more detail. It's just a matter of time before we're making everything this way. This is how we are fabricating life. And we're doing it with recycled material. If anything, this is a brave, new, wonderful green future where we're just using stuff we already had, melting it down and pooping it out as a brand new house or a brand new car or a brand new whatever. I think it's great.
If we do the Trex type thing and reuse and recycle materials, you're totally right.
Yeah, I want,
of course we won't.
If there's a diaper in there somewhere, it's fine. Who cares? Plastic is plastic. All right, we're going to do a quick email here from Colby Cobb. Colby Cobb is his name. And he wrote in and he says, "Hello, Scott, Tom, blank, and especially the ultra sexy blank." He didn't know where our guests were.
Where?
So,
That's me.
All right, you're ultra sexy.
That's very
Winner of the trivia thing has to be the ultra sexy.
Right.
You know it.
You have to wear that dress the rest of the show. This is a sort of forecast question, he says. "I've always thought the future of computers is going to be where we all carry around our own personal computer, perhaps in our watch or smartphone, and there will be no longer be anything like desktop towers, PlayStations, or laptops. There will only be screens that display your computer. For example, you sit down at work in front of your monitor and set your phone down in front of it, and your phone/computer streams to the display, and now you have all of your programs, your files, everything you need right there with you all the time." Probably means the cloud mainly, because that's how you'd probably access all that stuff. But you sit down in the living room and your phone displays on the TV, and you can watch Netflix, play video games. Your phone will be powerful enough to be a gaming device as well, and surf the web. The whole idea of separate computers and laptops and tablets and game systems seems like a complete waste. It would be so much more efficient to just have screens everywhere that everyone could sit down in front of and use as if they were at their home computer. I'm tired of moving my PlayStation from room to room to watch my stories on the TV, he says. He says, "My question is, if not now, when? I want it now. Thanks for a lot for the show. Sincerely, Colby." So that's a pretty interesting idea.
What I would like to see in that is instead of having screens everywhere, just jump it to the next level where we take our portable our phone or whatever around with us, and then just totally pull a Minority Report out of there, and just or Iron Man, grab our screen and just throw it up on the wall. And, that way you don't need screens.
This feels like a stepping stone to that, because part of it is taking your stuff with you, right? That's part of his prediction. I think that could happen now. It's just a matter of standards. So there's enough power in my phone now for me to plop it on a table, have a terminal device go boop, we see it, Bluetooth, whatever, and immediately stream that stuff up there in a real-time way with very little latency. And boom, I'm word processing, I'm doing all sorts of things, I'm wirelessly printing, I'm doing whatever I need to get done. And then when I leave, it just shuts down and goes away and it's not there anymore. That's possible now. It's just that there are no standards for everybody's branded devices, different OSs. This is the part we never seem to get to, is we never get like electricity is a straight up electricity standard, right? It's the same, except you have different plugs, I guess, in different countries. But we have adapters for that. I mean, we can make it work. With this, it's like, well, sorry, this is only Android compatible, or sorry, this is only Windows compatible, or sorry, Macs are the only ones that are using this, or whatever. And until we get away from that, and I don't know how we do, because we also want competition because it drives innovation, I don't know how we ever get there. That's all I'd say about that.
It's called the web, and 2048 is the future.
I can get 2048 on every device. What do I need stories for?
I'm only partly kidding when I say that. Obviously, 2048 is not the future. But the fact that that is the web. And I really am starting to believe, I was despairing for a while, but I'm starting to believe that in 5-10 years, we're going to be, and maybe even a little faster, we're going to be flying back to universal compatibility. We almost got there in the late 90s. Netscape had a program called Constellation, whose total aim was to get rid of the difference between your desktop. Didn't matter if you're on Windows or Mac or whatever, you could just do everything in the browser.
Right.
And then they abandoned that, partly because they got distracted, partly because it just was a little too early for that to really work well. We're getting much closer to ubiquitous internet, which starts to make that more practical. And really, honestly, I don't even know. I think it's going to seem quaint and out of date to have wished to carry a thing around with you to be the thing. I think it's just going to be like, I sit down in front of a screen, it looks at my, iris or what, however it authenticates, and then says, okay, here's your account. And it streams your account to you out of the cloud. You don't have to carry a thing unless you just want to have a thing that you carry around with you. It's not powered by that thing. And I think that even to go a little further down crazy train, it's going to not be stored on a central server. There's going to be some sort of mesh grid storage that will take care of security and encryption, and everything you own will be just stored everywhere else. But no one will be able to get to it.
So who
All
will
of those
run
things
this,
are
though?
possible right now too.
Who will run this in the future? Like, do you see it being one big?
That's what I mean. No central server.
Good point.
It's peer to peer.
It has to be, right? Because that's the only democratic way to do it.
What will be run is backhaul internet connections, which we'll always need, and storage. But that's it.
Yeah, we could do that now.
I don't just want to live in the future. I want to live in Tom's future.
Yeah, Tom's got a great
There you
future.
go.
His
My
future's
future may
great.
never come, but I would like to live there too.
What do you eat in your future, Tom? What food are you eating in the future? What are you
It's a
eating?
food pill.
They're
Pooped out Trex.
pooped out trash.
No, I eat a pill that allows me to poop out Trex and then make a
Make
very
your own house.
sensitive
Finger
house.
Tom.
What will
There you go.
will Trex are for kids? Will that be the motto in the future?
More Trex.
Brilliant. That lovely note brings us to the end of today's show, this week's show. And big thanks to you guys for being fantastic guests. The returning Brian Ibbett is always a pleasure, man.
My pleasure.
Where can people go to learn more and have more of Brian Ibbett?
Well, of course, the morning stream and Film Sack on the lovely Frog Pants Network. You can also find my music show, Coverville, and the glorious return of Lyrics Undercover, which actually just came back today after a 4-month pod fade hiatus.
Hiatus, we call that.
A near fade.
Hiatus.
Yeah.
That's right, a
A
near
near
fade.
fade.
A
You're
pod
only
fade
near
experience.
A pod fatus, something like that.
a fadus.
Oh, that's
There you
great
go.
because people like that show. People should check it
Yeah,
out.
you can find
Coverville
out
on Twitter. Where else do they go? Coverville.com.
Coverville.com, Coverville on Twitter, Coverville on Facebook. I mean, if you just basically go to anything and type in the word Coverville, you'll find me.
There are no other Ibbets in this world. That's one thing.
Oh, there are
you'll learn.
lots of other Ibbets.
Yeah, but-
I've even made one.
None of them search as well as you do.
That's right.
So if you're looking for Brian Ibbett, it's real
Right.
easy to find. Do not, however, be fooled and find this guy right here.
Brian Ibbotson, who
As
Yeah,
Brian Ibbotson
don't
is
look for
not a
that
guy.
He's a
He'll
wicked
have
sax
his
player.
soprano sax playing for you
That's right.
sensually.
Robo. All right, well, good job, and it was great having you on.
Zach.
Barry Ricks, where can people go get more Barry Ricks?
Oh, well, I do a podcast called The Closet Geek. We actually have had several guests on there. Lovely Tom was on there last night.
Lovely
and,
Tom.
Sure how lovely I was.
Yep,
But
and
you guys were lovely.
we've had other Frog Pants people. Scott, you've been on the show, and we've had Chinbeard on there 3 times, I think. We enjoy talking cosplay because I do the show with my 3 older brothers, and they and one of my brothers is a professional cosplayer as well, so it's fun.
Great.
You can find us on theclosetgeek.net, and we're also on iTunes. And you can also, I do the Sweet Kicks with Bricks, and the reason why it's Bricks, people, is because my name is Barry Ricks, and together it's Bricks.
Right.
Just so if you didn't know.
Yeah.
And I do that at the end of the final score every week, and it's awesome. I am now doing interviews with the people that are actually producing the Kickstarters, and that's been a really cool opportunity to do that. And you can find me on Twitter. I'm Bricks2312 on the Twitter. I couldn't get regular Bricks because someone else has it, but it's like an inactive account.
Oh, that's the worst.
Like no one uses it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I keep telling Twitter, I'm like, just delete it. Just let me have it.
They won't do it.
I know. But yeah, so check out the Closet Geek. You can check, like I said, theclosetgeek.net, or find us on Facebook, The Closet Geek on Facebook. We do a lot of our updating on our Facebook page as well.
Nice.
But yeah,
Well,
so we're all over the place.
Well said. Everyone should check that stuff out. I was going to say one last thing about something and I forgot. Oh, the show today brought to you by Boop brand Trex Poopers. Get yours today. Tom Merritt, anything else that we should be not remiss in mentioning before we go?
I am just merely constructing my own personal future, and it'll be sending out invites.
In 2048, probably?
Beta testing.
Okay, great.
No,
Wonderful.
actually, in all seriousness, Len Peralta has really been like trying to figure out good ways to get the 10 State Comic Patreon to get a little interest, because we would like to do more issues of the 10 State Comic. If you haven't checked out the 10 State Comic, go to lenperaltastore.com, take a look, or look for it on Comixology. And then patreon.com/Len Peralta is the Patreon. We just added some new rewards there if you back us. So
nice.
Check it out.
Go check that out. Thank you, my friend. And if anybody else would like to do things with this show, well, gosh dang it, there's ways. Current Geek on Twitter, Scott Johnson and Ace Detect on Twitter, currentgeek.reddit.com. Don't forget about that. And of course, currentgeek.com, where the blog is posted now with every episode we do. You can go there, check out old episodes, subscribe to the feed, all those sorts of things. And what else? Currentgeek@gmail.com. We like your emails. We're happy to read them here on the show, so keep those coming. For me, for Tom, for Brian, and for Barry, see you next time. Boop, boop.
How about a booby?
Oh, Veronica.
Robot arms.
Robot arms.
Hope she's
She has
feeling
one
better.
now, right?
Yeah, she got all
She
worked
does,
on.
yeah.
How'd it go? Did you guys record, Tom? You ended up doing a show?
We did. In fact, you can see her robot arm in the interview that's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Sword and Laser,
Dang.
because she had to keep it elevated through the whole
She
interview.
had to hold it up.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Sad.
That
Did she have a
sucks.
bench or a chair or anything to do that, or just she just
She
held
was
it up?
just like keeping it on the desk.
Oh man.
Poor thing. I feel bad for her. That sucks. Surgery.
Yeah.
Don't get it. So you guys are great. Thank you very much.
Thank
as
you.
always.
It was awesome.
Absolutely agree.
My pleasure.
Brian, third
Yeah.
time will be the charm on your quiz. Don't worry.
That's
yeah,
right.
right.
I even think the judge will be biased then.
Jared.
He's going to
I
tell me.
resent that implication that this is anything but fair scoring.
Well, he
That's
scores
right.
it so weird. I can't tell. I don't know what's
I'm
happening.
not sure what you mean by that, Scott
I
Johnson.
know. We're still confused. All these episodes later.
You know what? At Nerdtacular, I will bring the rule book. Okay.
Okay.
If I can, I mean, if the weight limit on the plane doesn't prevent me.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right.
That's a big rule book. Chat room, if you're still listening, nerdtacular.com for tickets. If you're coming, you better get it now because 80% sold. We're like almost out of
Nice.
tickets. So what the hell are you doing? Let's go. Let's go.
Hurry up.
I got my ticket
Good.
Yeah.
and I reserved my hotel room and everything already.
Good,
so
see?
it'll be awesome.
And
I'll reserve a hotel room for the rule book and for
That's right.
it needs its own weird shower where it can see out into the room. Need to have that.
And I'll
forgot about that. You're right.
and I'll have all my kids with me, Scott, again. So
Good.
last
Bring your
year
kids
they
because
were-
I got drawings and art and stuff to give them. So
Yeah,
bring 'em.
they were there. They were there last year, and they had lots of fun. I mean, they didn't sit in on the panels, but they had fun just walking around. And then after the prize Oculus, it's like
You almost called it the McPrize-ellipse, but that's fine.
I was gonna call it. Well,
Surprise a lot.
Yeah, surprise a
I know,
lot.
It was prize Oculus.
Yes.
And I got confused because I had the convention I did up here in Idaho, and I called mine Prize Mageddon.
Oh,
So I
that's pretty
so
good.
I got them mixed up. But yeah, so they'll be there, and they had lots of fun. People,
That's great.
Giving them
This
free
year's
stuff, so.
year's going to be interesting because we're going to do prizes all day long, like big major prizes right in the middle of things. So
wow.
we're going to try some different
So-
stuff this year. And
Is
see
it like
how it goes.
sneak attack prizes?
Yeah, sneak attack. Like if you're in
That's
the
awesome.
room, better hope you're in the
Nice.
room because right now
Yeah.
we're giving away a PlayStation or whatever.
Boom.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Well,
And it just falls out
I'd
of the
like
sequel.
that really nice laptop you give away. That
Yeah, we'll do that again this
yeah,
year.
no
So
kidding.
That's
Oh,
actually
man.
Scott's laptop.
yeah, I got to
That's
keep
right.
buying it. Jeez.
you know what?
Stop giving it away.
I'll take Scott's laptop. Mine sucks.
You guys would just keep giving away my notebook, please.
We just
That's
keep
right.
grabbing Scott's laptop every year and giving it away to people.
Have